Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy. Thank you. I have an idea. Now, hear me out here. Instead of talking about what's going on in the video, I'd like to talk about what's actually going on. Uh, so, I'm going to choose a topic and I'm going to talk through my video notes and tell you my opinion at the end. So, the video is why hasn't Facebook bought Snapchat yet? It's a common theme where Facebook decide to buy popping social media apps or struggling ones, like what they did with what did they buy? Like what they did with Instagram, WhatsApp, where they bought them and put them into their own corporative. But if you want to know that, we first have to discuss what is Snapchat or where did Snapchat come from. Now, Snapchat is a multimedia instant messaging application that was developed on the 8th of July 2011 by Snap Inc., which was firstly named Snapchat Inc. So the company kind of knew what it was going to when it came up with the name. I mean, like Snapchat, they were built to make instant messaging apps. They wanted to make that. Now in 2011, Snap Inc. And also a brief history on Snap Inc. They are an American camera and social media company founded on the 16th of September 2011. So when they made just like 2 months after the development of the Snapchat application. So they probably had developers who made the app, and then they decided to make a company for it. Like 2 months later, the developers of the app are Evans Thomas Siegel, who's an American, Bobby Murphy, who's an American, and Daniel Smith, who's also an American, and David Crashfit. Now, with these names, even Thomas Siegel, Bobby, and Daniel have Wikipedia pages, while David Kravitz, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, does not have a Wikipedia page, or his information is just unknown on Google. It's like it's been wiped out. So that's how I could find that Bobby, Mary, and Bobby, Daniel, and Evan are American. Well, I couldn't tell the nationality of David. So I think that's up for debate. Now, going back to the question of why didn't Facebook buy Instagram, uh, in my opinion, Snapchat were trying to do what Mark Zuckerberg was and is still doing at the time, being a popular instant messaging, or commonly referred to as DMing, uh, application, which was hard knowing that by 2011 Facebook was already the most viewed slash visited site in the world with 137.6 million views, only behind by Google 153.4 million, which for an application created in the same year with a whoa pause sorry, which for an application that for an app that created the same year, Facebook are having these crazy numbers. Okay, what I'm trying to say is it was kind of pointless to make an application to do something that Facebook is already doing and which is already thriving with these astronomical views stats by 2011. Facebook was acquired it was made in 2008. So it's by 2011 Facebook was already big at the time that Snapchat was giving birth, like Snap Inc. was giving birth to Snapchat. So it was kind of crazy. But the question is, why didn't Facebook try to even invest? Because Facebook could have seen this as an opportunity to make more money. They would have put money into the they would have put money into the company, and they could have had they'll be the they'll be going to trillion. Mark Zuckerberg would be a trillionaire. But why? By then, Snapchat was seen as a literal baby that just tried that just came out of a womb of a computer program and deemed useless in the Facebook eyes, but quickly became popular for shorts, slideshows, for photos, as messages. And fun fact, in 2014, Snapchat was used in a paid advert for a 20-second long trailer for an old horror movie named If You Know This Horror Movie, Then I Will Clap For You. I'm gonna give you like what, 20 bucks, 20 kwacha. Uh, that's pronounced, I think, Uji, uh, Oichi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's on the screen right there. Uh, but a year later, before the investment went live, Facebook tried to buy Snapchat for 3 billion US dollars. So Snapchat was approached by Mark and his band of lawyers, uh, which is good money, but Snap Inc. stood their ground and did not curve in. And 10 years later, it is the seventh most downloaded application, only behind by TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, Zoom, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, which make up the top six as of 2021, as of recording this video, with Facebook owning four of the seven top downloaded apps. Now, with all this great success, and side note as well, the three guys that I could able to research on, they're all billionaires. They're all billionaires, not millionaires. They're all billionaires. They're all in 10 years. They're all billionaires. All right, so that begs the question: what are you doing there, programmers? You also gotta get into this thing. But I think it was the main reason is because Facebook did not see Snapchat to do what Facebook wanted to do. Facebook now, with this meta thing, is trying to go the long way in making shit kind of cool. But Snapchat, on the other hand, are just trying to still be relevant, which they kind of still are 10 years later. They're still one of the most used apps, the top 10 most downloaded apps, and as I'm pretty sure of 2020, it was used a lot. I live in Zambia, so none of us use Snapchat for messaging. We just use it because it's got nice filters, and so it makes some of us look as if we're American. But with the Western world, I know that they use it for messages. Like they text each other on Snapchat. Uh, I'm pretty sure for them it was kind of cool because they could take short, like 20, even 10-second videos of them and maybe in their room or wearing a mask or like kind of like, oh, we're in this COVID time, we're doing this, we're doing this. So it was probably used more of a communication as of Messenger was an irrelevant really when it came to that. Uh, that also kind of adds on to that. And I don't know about the Westerns, but with us, we're sort of like slowly drifting away from Facebook, and it is kind of fun. But Snapchat is still in every guy and girl's phones as of today, and has been installed and uninstalled so many times that that's why it keeps making them dough. But again, I keep drifting out of the conversation, but Snapchat does not need to be bought out by any company. It doesn't need to, in my opinion, because if it managed to sustain itself for this 10 years, then why can it not sustain itself for another 10 years or even forever, basically? The owners are stupidly rich and don't need a fast money out. Companies get bought because companies get bought because they are either in debt, cannot sustain the build, and it sort of like adds that into existence. Like, let's take WhatsApp for example. WhatsApp in 2014 was approached by Facebook to buy to buy the app at 16 million US dollars, uh, which was kind of big for them in 2014. Mind you, a lot of things was different in 2014. And if we kind of look at WhatsApp's brief history, we get to see that it was founded by a guy named Brian Acton and Jan Oku. Okay, the names will be on the screen. In 2009, which was kind of weird, and in fun fact, these two guys were working at Yahoo. So the moment they left, they decided to make their own kind of uh social media platform. So it was kind of like humble beginnings to kind of fame and fortune. Then you just want to ask like why they decide to sell. Well, if you do a little bit of Googling, you can find that uh, it states they sold it mainly because of the workers' situation and the fact that Facebook wanted to offer a new sort of friend suggestions for WhatsApp, which does not make sense because WhatsApp is solely based on the contacts that you have in your phone, so it cannot give you a friend suggestion. And it also states that the company had 450 million users and just had 55 employees. So I think you can add that it lacked in employee management. So a ratio of 450 million to 55 is really small in the employees part, which kind of begs the question like they probably could not handle server crashes or user customer care centers and all that other stuff. 55 might look like a lot, but when it comes to managing a social media platform, it is small. Or managing a big company, it is small. Companies that probably have put it off are Xiaomi with only having I think less than 20,000, when Samsung have got like 80, 90, 88, 900,000. I think such companies can manage, but when it comes to a company like a social media company, you have to have a lot of personnel. Drifted off track. Uh, but Snapchat did not have that problem. Snapchat had everything at their disposal. They had very good founders. They had a good they had a good number of they had a good number of employees. They did not have any problems. The social media platform was as big, did not blow up instantly like how Facebook did. So as it slowly grew over time, it also grew into our hearts. And now with these extra 3 minutes, I'm going to give you a couple of my own opinions to short opinions to why they did not sell to Facebook. For starters, it would be admitting defeat, which is true because it would just show that they cannot handle it. And if they did commit to sell all those years ago, they I don't think they would be as big as they are now, and they would probably regret it because when you sell your company, I think you still own a small percentage, but you don't own the percentage of like decision making, or you still get paid, but I think you don't own as much power. You don't have as much power on your own company as the company you sold it to. So I think they would have regretted it. And second off, I don't think they would have become billionaires. Now, hear me out. Selling a company for 3 billion US dollars is good, but when you sell a company, that money doesn't go to you. And in hindsight, it does not make you a billionaire. It just makes you really wealthy. Because you have to first, if you're counting your net worth, you're supposed to get your assets and subtract them by your liabilities or your debts. So I'm pretty sure they had debts in there. So that kind of they wouldn't have been billionaires in 10 years. And third, and probably the most important, they wouldn't have felt they wouldn't have felt important. They're one of the most important people now in the social media aspect. They can walk into a social media gala and be like, "I, I'm Snapchat," and everyone is just gonna look like, "Wow, it's Snapchat." But all in all, uh, it's sort of like you can interpret this into a story to tell the young programmers that don't give up. It might look shaky, just don't give up. Someone big like might just come and claim he's gonna help you and save the day when he just wants to get your idea and claim it as his. So in that, I leave it up to you. This was a video that I wanted to just enlighten you on the Snapchat scenario and just talk about it. It doesn't get talked about too much. So I hope Snapchat sees and gives me like a ad or something. No matter. It has been your boy TWG. Thank you for watching. Bye.